Hey everyone, I just wanted to make a quick video just to show you what the Sling Load as pipe is for X-Plane 12 that's coming out. What you see on the screen here is a kind of a pseudo build between X-Plane 11 and X-Plane 12. Basically what Austin's done for us is given us kind of a preview of what X-Plane 12 is going to look like as far as the aerial saw Sling Load as pipe capability. So what you'll see here is this is PlaneMaker, and if you go to the weight and balance page, in the past you were able to have a jettison load as a sling load, as a water, a fire retardant, or other aircraft. What Austin's now added is going to be a jettison load as a pipe. What that means is below the aircraft or below the helicopter, that distance, so the 100-foot pipe section is going to be a somewhat rigid pipe, whereas a rope, it can be next to the aircraft picks up and it picks up the rope and then drags it around. Whereas this, it stays that fixed distance no matter what it is away from the helicopter. So I just wanted to show you that. So that's what we're going to be playing with here. So I'll close this. Next thing you'll see here is, so this is within X-Plane 11. So all the visuals you can see here is within X-Plane 11. There's nothing X-Plane 12 visuals that you see here. The only thing that's X-Plane 12 is going to be this solid beam you see here. The other unique feature is the aircraft is loaded with a sling load as a pipe, and you can see the object lays flat on the ground. This is different from X-Plane 11. X-Plane 11, the object sits right in the center of the aircraft and sometimes extends up through the aircraft. The reason behind this is because if you're doing aerial saw work, that beam is sitting in front of the aircraft like this. So when the helicopter picks up, it picks up and then it picks up the saw with it. So this is a really nice feature to have that just didn't exist in X-Plane 11 and also was nice enough to be able to allow it for X-Plane 12. What I'm also going to show you is going to be the Nimbus Simulations plugin that Santiago has been helping me with on the development side of. Along the way, you also see some other development work. So the saw blades can now be cycled on and off. The saw blade can actually be rotated. So in the vertical position, it can be rotated around the vertical axis. This is just like the real deal. The button combinations are all programmed just like the real helicopter. So you have a power, you have a start, and then you have a throttle up to actually start the motor on the propeller. So what I'm going to go through now is simply just placing a few trees that we're going to go along and cut. So you can go right here. I'm going to mouse up a little bit, and I'm going to simply place them along this road. So I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see what we're doing. Now I'm simply just going to place them along this road. And one or two of these are going to be really close to the road, so we're going to have to definitely take care of that and cut those back. Let's add a couple more here. There we go. So what you see now is the trees that have been added. Now these trees are plug-in derived trees. So these trees come from the Nimbus Simulations plugin. They will interact with the downwash of the rotorcraft, as you'll see here in a moment. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to attempt to start the recording, get into VR, and that rigmarole. So here we go. Okay, here we go. It's starting to load here. Sorry for the delay. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and unpause this now. And as you see, I'm inside the helicopter. That's that beam in front of you I was talking about. So I'll go ahead and move my mouse out of the way, and I'm going to go ahead and give us a whirl. Alright, pretty well centered. And look out the aircraft. Here we go. My feet on the pedals. So what you'll see now is I'm picking up the beam. The saw is staying put on the ground there, dragging it just slightly so you come forward a little bit, controlling it just ever so slightly into our LZ. You can see right about here the saw is going to start picking up, and it's going to tilt up onto its nose. As it tilts up onto its nose, we want to be able to pick it up, and then we're flying with the saw. So pick it up over these trees. Oh. I'm going to attempt to avoid the big tower here. I'm going to make a big sweeping turn here and come back, get my altitude back and adjusted here. You can see my saw blades hanging out down there. One thing I'm going to do here is just pause it so you guys can see a couple other things. Oops, I had the wrong button. So one of the other features is the ability to do a path. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the Control P. That's going to turn the path on. As you can see there, it's the path of the salt. And lastly, I'm going to go ahead and enable my saw blade plugin. And so what you'll see now, let me get myself back positioned. The blades are, the branches will actually fall as I get close to the tree branches. So there we go. Good. Settled in here. And that blue line that you see across my screen, that blue line is a saw path. So I can later go through and review where my path was of my saw blade. In addition, if I were to have an instructor next to me, they'd be able to see that saw path and see if I was cutting online or offline. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to position it just over the middle of this road here, just towards the right side actually, and start cutting branches. So as you see, as I get close to the tree, oh, I lost my visuals there, I got all over the place. But you can see the branches coming off. I'm all over the place. So I'm going to reset here, get a little bit more stabilized approach. This is a very difficult operation in the real world, and it's even a little bit more difficult, I would say, right now, doing it in VR for the simple reason that VR gives you that immersion, but I don't have the motion, so I'm not able to feel the helicopter, where the helicopter is going, if I'm leaning left, leaning right. So the ability to do this with a motion simulation phase is going to be really fun and really key to the success. So I'm going to hover in nice and carefully here. I'm pretty well stabilized. So I'm going to attempt to give it another go. So here we go. I'm kind of along this tree line here. You can see the branches are falling off as I'm cutting. I'm a little bit low. I'm actually dragging the saw across the ground. So I'm going to cut a little higher. Let's go ahead and give it another whirl here. See if that's a little bit better altitude. There we go, and you can see I'm cutting those branches off, and they are falling as I'm cutting them off. So there we go. That's enough of a demonstration for one day. I'm going to go ahead and come back through here, do another little pass quickly just to show you, and then I'm going to go ahead and put the saw down and show you how that saw gets set down. So here we go, coming back through here again. As it touches the branches, you see it's cutting the branches off. As it gets away from the tree, it stops cutting, obviously. So I'm going to go ahead and pause it here. Turn my path off. And go ahead and bring it into land. So I have a nice little LZ set up here. This LZ is not necessarily frame rate friendly with my laptop that I'm running this from. Obviously, if you have a good gaming system, this is going to run a lot smoother. So don't hold the frame rates against me and the stuttering against me. That's just my machine versus the actual simulation. So I'm going to hover to the far side of the LZ here. Yeah, it's right on the ground, so you cut off just a touch. Come forward just a little bit. Now I'm going to park it on that last cone there. Okay, I've got the back end on it. I'm going to go ahead and hover backwards here, controlling it nicely. You can see the saw blades pivoting along the ground there nicely. And a little bit all over the place here. There we go, it's looking a little more stabilized. There we go, a little more stabilized. The saw is on the ground now, as you can see. And I'm coming up into my LZ, between the trees here. And then I'm just going to put her down right there. And there we have it. Go ahead and pause it there. So hopefully that video shows a little bit of demonstration of what we have. Appreciate you watching. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy it. Thanks so much.